Hi everyone, I'm Fred from Salvia, Divinorum, Wales, and this video is just going to be sort of what I like to use as a soil mix for my salvia plants, because what I'm going to be doing today is potting up this little salvia plant, little Salvia Divinorum. This is the one that I use as my profile picture, but as you can see she's looking a bit sick, a bit pot bound. The pot at the moment is a bit too small for her. I'll flip her over. See, all the roots are coming out, so I've probably let her go a bit too long now, but you know, better late than never. What I'm going to be doing is she's going to be going into this air pruning pot, which I quite like, especially for a mum. It basically just stops her getting root bound in the pot. This is my preferred soil for mums. This is 5 parts soil, 2 parts balls, 2 parts cocoa and 1 part sand. This I just find is a really nice, draining, light mix that the plants really seem to like, and I've had absolutely no problems with it. It just gives this all-round sort of goodness. Because this soil I'm using is quite heavy, you probably see it run some water out of it, and this is what you do not want in your plants. You do not want them sitting in this horrible marsh like bog. Cocoa is very nice and fluffy and just adds that sort of nice fluffiness to the soil. The balls just add a bit of air into the soil. Roots do need air. Little compacted tight roots do not grow well. And this is just a sharp sand that has been washed. You always got to wash your sharp sand if you get it from Builder's Merchant or somewhere else, because it's all got kinds of horrible clayey, any kind of stuff in there you don't want. So that's it. I'll go mix this up and then I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay, everything now is all mixed up, and actually you can see how much, it's just lighter and fluffier, and it's all, there's too much almost to fit in this truck now. So now we've got to go into trying to get the plant out of the pot. Now this is the bit you got to be most delicate with. This is probably one of the worst kinds of pot to be in with the terracotta, because the roots like to almost grab to the sides of the pot. And root damage is one of the worst things you can do when potting up. So now these have all come out the bottom. I do not want to break these off, so I'm just going to gently just be trying to not break them, but tease them off if I can with my mucky fingers. Okay, just managed to get her out, and actually it's not as bad as I thought it would be, but you can just see these rounding of these roots. That's not too good. Or I smushed it in with the spoon, but this is why this is probably a bit too much in the way of pot bound. You don't want to let it get this far. Okay, alright, I'll put her back in the pot. And just with this, same old, just start getting it in there. And you don't want to be packing it down, because you want the roots to be able to get all the way in there, to be able to find what they need nice and easy. Okay, and the final bit now is potting it up. So we got soil in, it's not right up to the top, because you always want to leave a little gap at the top. So we go, make a little well, bit about the same size as the pot, well, the plant that's going to be going in there. There we go. And now what you can do with salvia is you normally want to get the soil around right up to the line, but sometimes I like to just have it a little bit over the top, because some of the roots on the salvia, once it's got a bit dry and a bit pot bound, they'll start coming up on the top, and I don't want the sunlight to be getting onto them. I'm trying to be gentle, not squash any leaves. You don't really want any soil to be getting on the leaves, because that can cause different kinds of rot and problems. Okay, so that's in nice. Just settle her in nice like that, because you don't want to leave any air pocket underneath her, so that the roots are all touching the soil. That looks good to me. Now what I've got here I normally make it up in 2 litres. This is just a really mild root sort of feed, little root tonic, root stim kind of thing. Whenever you put a plant in, you always want to water it, just because it helps the roots just sort of find their way. Just makes the plant happier. I normally use a root tonic only because it just helps against stress, and because now the roots are trying to find their new area and their new space for them to go into. And what you want to do with an air pruning pot or a root pruning pot, you want to always water very, very slowly, because if I poured all of this in and flooded it up to here, all that would happen is the water would pour out those holes in the side, which is what you don't want. You want it to go all the way down to the bottom and all the way into the middle, and then sort of come out to the sides. And just, you know, we're slowly tweaking it, because she should be now very happy to be in her new lovely pot. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Slowly, you know, over time you might develop a little well sort of in one of the sides. It's easier just to pour the water into right at the bottom and just let that sink in, and then top her up a bit and let that sink in. Top it up a bit. But otherwise, that seems to be the only major difference with a root pruning pot, is the way you water. But I hope you find that helpful. I found it fun doing this. And yeah, any more information you want about salvia plants, or, you know, sort of just, well actually yes, just about salvia plants, I've got my link below for my website, and feel free to have a look down there, and obviously likes, comments are always welcome.